My name is Alicia Raimundo, and I am a mental health superhero. Now, some of you might be wondering where you get that cool nickname or why, but that's what I'm hoping to explain to you during my chat with you today. To start, I just wanted to explain why mental health is so important to me. I could tell you things like the statistics around the fact that more people die from suicide than terrorism and murder combined. That in Canada, 2 out of 3 people who need mental health services will never get them. But for me, it's personal. I spent 9 years of my life suffering in silence because I didn't know the words depression or anxiety, and I didn't understand suicide. When I finally found my voice and asked for help, I reached out to someone who I thought I could trust, and she told me I was crazy. It was at that point that even though I had a wonderful community, amazing family, and was going to a pretty good school, that I felt like a burden on all of those people in all of those places. And I felt like maybe the world would be better off if I wasn't here. So I tried to take my own life. The reason why I'm standing in front of you today is because when I ended up in the hospital, I found a leader who saved my life. Now, this isn't a love story to psychiatrists, nurses, or even the admin or janitorial staff. It's actually to a 60-year-old woman with auburn hair and a bit of a limp, who after staring at me in the same hospital waiting room that I'm sure exists in every hospital, playing the same Seinfeld reruns, walked over to me, grabbed my hand, and said, "From one crazy person to another, you'll need this," and placed a simple, cold, silver something into my hand. And as she walked away, I plucked my fingers from my palm, and I saw a necklace that said the word hope. Now, for many of you, you might understand the point I'm making, but for those of you who don't, when you live with a struggle, you have a hard time seeing tomorrow. You have a hard time sometimes seeing the next hour. I had not thought about hope since I was 3 years old and really wanted cookies. So this concept of hope saved my life. I hoped to watch my sister graduate from high school, and when that day came, I hoped to make a world where no person has to wait 9 years to get the mental health services they need. From that time, I have found my voice. It has not been an easy journey. I've lost 14 friends and family members to suicide, and I found myself on the pathway of 200 people who told me that my story helped them turn away from suicide and ask for help. It's also taking me to really crazy places like speaking at World Youth Day or being in a photo shoot with Cher for Vanity Fair for some reason. And it created this really interesting path where I found myself as a leader and a public speaker, even though I never loved those words. And when I was a public speaker in my first years of university, my public speaking teacher told me that I should just give up because I would never be a public speaker, and you're lucky that you're not as wrong as her, I guess. But people always ask me what's my advice for being a leader, especially when you're leading from a place of expertise, of lived experience. And I have 3 things to say to those people. The first is that if you experience injustice, if you experience a system that's broken, that doesn't work for you, to not blame yourself, but realize by seeing that you are the right person to fix it. And you right now, not in 3 degrees, not with 10 more years of work experience. You are right now enough to create that change. The next thing is to surround yourself with people who believe in you, with people who build you up and support you and understand whatever movement or cause or thing you are trying to build or do, that they're always there for you. And sometimes these people will have to push you back on the right path when you fall off, but they will always build you back up if they ever need to tear you down. The last thing that I will say is that for every emerging leader or leader in this room is to take care of yourself. We have so many valid reasons to be angry. We have so many valid reasons to never stop working. But if we do that, we will burn ourselves out and we will sacrifice ourselves for the cause. And while a lot of people do that, it means that we can't create all of the change that we want. So be angry, be sad, cry, but also have laughter, have joy. Don't be mad at yourself for taking a break. One of my favorite things I love to do when I close out these talks is to invite everyone to do exercise with me. So if you would all join me in closing your eyes. And I want you to think about the worst experience you've had in your life so far. I want you to think about the person that you needed during those times. I'll invite you to open your eyes. And I think if everyone in this room is a leader that they needed when they were younger, the world will be just fine. Thank you very much.